Hello, and welcome back to Carl's Corner. This is Tracy Tartara, Prevention Specialist with the Carl Perkins Child Advocacy Center here in Fayette County. In today's talk, we are going to follow up with you on the safety rules. We've been talking about safe adults and the child advocacy or child safety matters curriculum safety rules. And there are 5 of those. And we've already went through safety rule number 1 with you and safety rule number 2. So safety rule number 1 was know what's up. And safety rule number 2 was spot red flags. Safety rule number 3 is make a move, which we'll talk about today. Safety rule number 4 is talk it up, and safety rule number 5 is no blame, no shame. And we teach these safety rules in our elementary school. Hopefully we're going to be starting back up in January. But for today, what we'd like to do is teach you a little bit about the safety rules as they apply to you as a safe adult. So, like I said, we talked about red flags last week, and we mentioned a few of those. So if you did not catch that, go back onto our Facebook page and look up week number 4, where we talk about spot red flags. So you'll have an understanding of what those red flags are. So what do you do when you spot a red flag within your own child or a child in your care? What do you do when you spot that red flag? And the first thing we ask is that you just trust yourself. Trust that what you're seeing is potentially a danger or a threat to your child or the child that's in your care. Trust yourself. And then the next thing is to make a move. We want you to make a move to get help for that child. And how do you do that? Simply by calling the child abuse hotline. And that number for you is 1-800-422-4253 or 1-800-4A-CHILD. Making that move to make sure you report a suspicion of child abuse is key. So what happens if a child discloses? If a child discloses to you that abuse has occurred, we want you to make sure that you praise them and thank them for telling you about that. In the case of bullying or cyberbullying, we ask that you report the bullying to the organization in which it occurred. Should it be your school or a church or an athletic association? If it's cyberbullying, there is a tip line that you can report that to. The cyber tip line number is 1-800-843-5678. That's 1-800-843-5678. And again, if you have any questions or concerns about what you're seeing as a red flag on whether it is in fact child abuse, and you just need some support, we ask that you give us a call here at the Advocacy Center in Fayette County. It's 901-235-7283. 901-235-7283, and any one of us here at the Advocacy Center can help you with that. The last thing that we want to make sure that you understand as it relates to child abuse and red flags and reporting or disclosures, I should say, is that we know that less than 25% of children who have been abused will disclose that abuse immediately. So what would happen is in a disclosure from a child, you might see an attempt at a disclosure, and that might look in the form of a hinted disclosure or a question disclosure or a conditional disclosure. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, disclosures, and how to handle disclosures and how to identify those, and then how to talk to your child about that next time. So we want to make sure that you join us here. We'll have a post hopefully next week about that on that step in the safety rules, and the 5 safety rules is talk it up. So join us next time, and thank you once again for joining today.